Welcome everyone to the Smokepit Symposium. My name is Hess. This is a podcast of veteran security professionals where we just shoot the shit, talk about various subjects in the security world, the military, world events, and everything. So let's get right to it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on board, dude. It's definitely been a long time since actually me and you've been able to hold a conversation. But
at least more than text.
More than text, to the point where it's like we can actually talk, shoot the shit, take some time, and actually like not really vent, but just kind of like pick each other's brains for a bit, and also just kind of share stories and just lay back for a second, kind of get away from our world and kind of focus on what's on our minds.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on board, man.
Yeah. I'm glad you're able to hop on this.
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course. I'm always going to support my boys. Eventually at some point, we'll see if old McCoy would be like, dude, why don't you hop on my YouTube channel and we'll duo this. We'll do it. I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's go blow some stuff up for YouTube, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is just keeping that network up and supporting each other too.
Yeah, like the biggest, weirdly enough, okay, so this is actually kind of interesting topic, is the networking idea, is that weirdly I actually keep more up to date and in contact with us guys from Afghanistan, guys that we served with while we're contracting, than I did with guys while I was in the Marines that I served with. Weirdly enough, like the brotherhood that I had contracting was tighter than the actual Marine Corps, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's funny because I hear you on that. Like I still keep in touch. Obviously, I keep in touch with you. I still hit up the Brit, DeLong, and all those guys. And really, I only talked to really one of the guys from my Marine Corps time.
Yeah, like here in a few weeks, I'll actually be traveling to visit one of my buddies from the Marines. And even then, the last time I saw him was like 2 years ago, and we barely talk because he's off busy living his own life. And I'm just like, dude, man, like it's just kind of interesting current time that we're living in.
Yeah,
it's like one area talks about, lives and breathes brotherhood and camaraderie, and the other place is just, all right, you're a motley crew, go out here in the middle of nowhere in the boondocks and just guard this place, and if shit hits the fan, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So it's like, actually, no, that makes sense. That's why we would be a little bit tired, because we were actually out there depending on each other.
Yeah, exactly. And It's not that we don't still care for our brothers from our time in, because if any of the ones hit me up, or I know if any of your guys hit you up, you jump for it.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. If any of my guys messaged me and in they needed something, or if they needed me to travel down just to see them, if they felt down, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In an absolute heartbeat. And for the most part, from what I remember, or at least from my point of view, since I've actually had some years to kind of mellow out, put emotions to words, and actually like experience life outside the Marine Corps, I like to think that most of the old grudges, the high school grudges that you have when you're fresh out of high school, you go in the military, that mentality of just like, okay, hey, because that one time me and him, when we served together, it wasn't we didn't click, so we never got along. I like to think that I'm kind of over that, where if that guy ever reached out to me, in a heartbeat, I'd message back and make sure he's okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I have an old gunny who I have on my Facebook friends list, and I actually interact with him.
Wait, you're friends with your chain of command? Man, you must have had a great chain of command.
Well, one of my chain of commands was, but this was actually one of the gunnies we despised.
Ooh.
Yeah, because while we were in, it was, our perception of him is he was only looking out for himself and would throw people under the bus if he had the opportunity. But like you said, once I got out and everything, that grudge kind of was like, what the fuck is the point of it?
Yeah, you kind of just let it go, because at a certain point you realize that at some point they will be getting out of the military, and they will have to go through the same adjustment period that you went through.
Exactly.
And it's like you want to be there for them because I don't know for you, but for me, when I got out of the Marines, I was kind of at a loss for about a year. Like when I got out, I didn't really have a sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to advance in life, but it was such a shock to get out because I guess a part of me still wanted to stay in, but I couldn't take the leadership.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a direction. And thankfully, a buddy of mine hit me up and was like, dude, you want to come to Afghanistan and get shot at? I was like, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's I got out and I had that direction. I knew I was going back to college and everything, but I think it was I also got out with that plan far too readily. And then I just sat there like, what am I doing? I'm bored. And that's what drove me back to Afghanistan.
So in a way, you kind of opened up the map to Skyrim and saw all the shit you had to do and just kind of like turned it off because you didn't want to deal with the variety of tasks.
Well, it wasn't so much that, because it was more of funny that Dying Light 2 just came out and everything today, but it's kind of like coming in from the cold, where you're out on your own for so long, and then you come back to civilization, and you're just like, what the shit? Like, that's how I felt more. Like, it was that culture shock of like reading the Forever War is by far one of the best military themed books I could never recommend to anyone. Because yes,
so the Forever War, what does that cover?
It was the Forever War was actually in a sci-fi book that was an analogy for the Vietnam War, but it is so relevant to the Afghan and Iraq War as well. Because because in the book, because it's in space and everything, and it's across galaxies, they use like black holes. I believe it was black holes. It's been a few years since I read the book, but they use like the event horizon to slingshot themselves and cause time dilation. So a year for them is like 50 years back on Earth. So when they finally finish their time in service, they come back to a world that does not look the same and everything.
Oh, I like that. How you go away for so long, you come back, and either technology has advanced, the people that you used to live around in your neighborhood, they moved out, and new ones come in.
Yeah, people have changed where you haven't, because for them they've grown up, they've had a family and everything, and you're still like 20 years old.
Well, so in a weird way, right? So I could touch on that for a second. One thing I definitely had to learn was that I did change. We all did. As much as we want to say we didn't.
Oh yeah. We just changed in a different direction than a lot of people.
Than everybody else. But our mentality usually stayed the same, because what we're trained to do is to compartmentalize our general thought process. So it's like no matter what you see and what you do, you keep a part of yourself locked back. And then when you let that part of yourself come back and you go home, you realize that things are different back home, and you start to actually think that maybe you're holding yourself back, or maybe that you're just missing out on something, when in reality, no, you've changed just as much, but you just don't see it.
Exactly.
Because for the most part, our mentality is, okay, we're going to go over here, do a job for a little bit, come back, everything's going to be the same. And one of the main things that I definitely noticed about me changing, thanks to you, DeLong, Johnny, and a couple other guys, was actually I became a lot more patient. I definitely, the way I talk to people, for the most part, from what many people tell me, is that I'm a lot more patient, stern in certain conversations, where it's like no bullshit, cut out the bullshit. But more reserved, as if like, I don't know, in a weird way, somebody said I was kind of like Elon Musk, where when he's ever asked a question, he'll take a moment, pause, and he'll think, and then he'll speak. Apparently, I've picked that up a bit.
Yeah, I honestly I like that trait, and it's why I try to pursue that trait of taking a moment, actually considering what was asked or what was said before I respond. But and I feel like that's a trait that the civilian world has lost, because you get in conversations with people who don't have that ability, and they'll ask you something and you'll take a moment to consider it, to actually come up with a good answer.
Right.
And they're pushing you. They're like, what's taking you so long? Like, why don't you have an answer? Like, are you slow? Are you dumb? It's like,
wait, did you not hear him? Or, are you okay? Like, yeah. They'll kind of pursue you, and it's not that. And I do agree. I do agree on that. Most part, being back in the States now, off contract, and actually working a regular job, definitely has gotten to the point to where I notice my thought process is definitely on a. I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. Like, when I say on a different scale, I don't mean like I'm high above everybody. Yeah. Because believe me, like when I'm around you guys, I'm the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. As soon as I get around the rest of the veterans, I'm like, oh shit, I'm the beta male. Like I'm the prison bitch around everybody else. That's how I feel. But when I come
caveman begets caveman.
Yeah. And, but no, when I say I'm on a different scale, I mean like legitimately, like there's different spectrums of different platforms of thought, and where I would be more like when things are more chaotic and out of control at work, that's where I'm more calm, where I'm able to just kind of like sit back, think on things. And weirdly enough, I think one of the main reasons why I pause in conversation is because it actually does kind of off-put whoever you're talking to. Yeah. Because when they ask you a question and you pause and give thought to that topic, and you're actually like talking to them, they'll actually kind of throw them off guard a bit, because because like you said, most people want an immediate response, and that's what they're used to. But when you actually take your time to it, it kind of slows them down too. So it's actually a good way to connect with people who are very fast. They're very fast talking and wanting to get the topic done and over, get their viewpoint across. If you slow down, they'll slow down with you.
Yeah, which is for me, it's a extremely useful trait, because working in the hospitals, when you have anxious patients and everything who are moving that fast and thinking fast, having that one person that comes up to you and just slows the tempo and quiets the voice
just a little bit, just slows it enough.
Yeah, it pauses them to kind of get a handle of themselves again and regain that control that they're missing out on.
Yeah, so to kind of tie this back into the topic of the forever war, that is definitely something that I know I've changed. In the fact that, not in the sense that I know how to control conversation, but in the sense that I've learned how, in the midst of small itty-bitty bits and pieces of chaos, because the thing about security contracting, the thing about the military and being downrange, is that this job is simple to us until it's not. Yeah. That's one of the biggest mottos I usually run by is, the job is simple until it's not. And you can take that moment amidst the chaos, take a breath, take that quick second, and you can actually learn how to kind of control that environment, or at least put it to your tempo to where you can handle it.
Exactly. It's learning that ability to not let the situation control you. You control yourself, and the situation just does its own thing.
Exactly. And most people will do the same thing. Like, if they notice you're the calm, cool, collected one, they'll actually kind of gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
They'll notice that amidst all this chaos, there's that one still body. They'll notice that. And I definitely noticed that during like active shooter courses too, and actually in active shooter situations where if you're ever near a civilian populace where something like that kicks off, people will cling to you. If you're like they'll like, when I say cling, I mean like a small child wrapping themselves around like your ankles and shit for a ride. You know, they'll cling to you like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like how that meme goes. When shit hits the fan, look for the quiet one.
When shit hits the fan, get a new fan.
That too.
I like that one. It was like, oh, you got shit on your fan? Why don't you get a new one, dude? What's wrong with you? No, dude, but I tell you, man, like, I'm definitely glad just to be able to kind of like sit here and shoot the shit with you, man, because actually being able to sit down and connect with, you know, one of our group, or at least just somebody that's been in the same environments as us, is very refreshing to be able just to talk and have this small little bit. Because, you know, even me, I'm sipping on my little, in the words of the late Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys, you know, I'm sipping on my drinky poo, and and I'm actually relaxing, and it's actually very refreshing to be able to talk to a broski.
Yeah. To use that as a bit of a segue, in a way. So I got a pop up from Cora for a question that every once in a while I get like, hey, are you able to answer this question and whatnot?
Okay.
The question that popped up was, shouldn't active military be the only ones who should have guns for defending our country from foreign attacks? 3 months of boot camp versus some academy training are not the same. One builds discipline while the other is just, I don't know. I was working on formulating a response to that before it hit me. I'm like, honestly, this is the perfect kind of topic to bring onto this podcast. Because
would you like to do you want me to actually like give my input to this?
Oh, absolutely.
I did want to interrupt you because I know you like take a second to ponder. My answer to that, no. Military members should not be the only ones. Because yes, we are trained to handle certain weapons. You know, just because you go into 3 months of boot camp or 2 months of boot camp, or now apparently 4 months for the Marine Corps because they're adding on a couple weeks. Just because you go through that boot camp doesn't make you a Swiss Army knife jack of all trades. Nor does it instill into the individual with that training humility and a moral compass. Because some of the people I have served with and some of the people I have never served with, like civilians, I have met some of the biggest dirtbags of my life in the military, in the armed forces. And I've also met some of the best people with more common sense than some of the best Marines ever worked with. Because a lot of people don't understand that you could be a great Marine, but you could also be a shitty person.
Exactly.
Like you could be a Marine who could carry a log by yourself for 9 clicks. You know, you could be a stellar guy at PT. You could teach, like the next generation of junior Marines how to actually survival techniques, how to disarm claymores, how to actually set up proper patrol bases, how to identify key terrain features on a map. But then when it comes to being a person, is like, I can't trust you near my girlfriend.
Yeah, or your wife is scared of you.
Yeah, I can't trust you to be my designated driver. You know, I can't trust you to even handle a drink, like be around me.
Exactly. That was my thoughts exactly. Like, I feel the person who asked that question, and I don't know who the person is. Their background, the question says a bit about their background, but because they're making assumptions that really should not be made, because they're assuming that 3 months of boot camp actually gives you discipline. Because like you said, You can make it through boot camp. You can make it through an entire Marine Corps career and still be a shitbag with no discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So the question just misses a lot of factors that I feel like a lot of people in this subject of who should have access to firearms, they also actually understand is because one, should the active military be the only ones with guns? Well, history has shown us that that's a very bad idea.
Much.
Like, look at Malaysia right now. You got because the military was the only one with firearms, they took over the government.
Civilians couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Now, there are the civilian. There's the there's a bunch of the militias and everything that have formed that are fighting the junta, and all the best luck to them.
But yeah, absolutely. You know, I really do hope that situation turns around for the better of them. However, I'm still a little bit lacking on the subject matter of why the government was overthrown in the first place. Like what the specific reason was. Maybe the government was just corrupt, or maybe it's just another warlord wanting to take over. I'm still kind of iffy on that.
I hate to say it, but I did, because it's been going on for so long. Yeah. My following of it has kind of fallen the same way as major media, where I see like an article every once in a while, but I don't follow it in depth as I feel I really should be.
So to go back to the question of should the military be the only ones to be armed, I'm still going to say no to that, because being somebody as a civilian, so my first topic, or my first reasoning behind it, was because, you know, the military doesn't make perfect people as much as they claim to. You know, I don't know how many times I've heard in a briefing that a first sergeant will come up in a briefing and say, what we're really teaching you how to do is be a better citizen. You know, if you make your bed, if you tuck your shirt in, if you get to work 15 minutes early, like there are certain aspects about the military that you can translate to the civilian world. There's so much more about it that no way, shape, or form can you.
Simply taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, take your own responsibility. Don't blame things on others.
And own up to your own mistakes. That's another big lesson that they want to harp on. So, but the main thing is, so the second topic is, like you said, so my second reasoning behind my reason why I say no is because of not only current events, but because of history. Is that if the military or even law enforcement is some sort of enforcement to the government's ideal system, if they're the only ones who are armed, then there is no say for the common person, the middle class, the low class, or even the higher class, because money doesn't buy everything. And if you have, let's say, a situation like in Afghanistan, when we first invaded Afghanistan, the Mujahideen had multiple generals and multiple commanders that were kind of like infighting. And the United States government basically backed up the one that had our common interest. So instead of there being an organization, who's to say somebody like General Mattis, for instance, let's say he got fed up with the government one day and decided he's going to take, 3 divisions of the Marine Corps and just start wreaking havoc across the nation. Well, the military itself can only do so much. The common people are what is 95% of casualties in war is collateral. It's always collateral, no matter what.
Yeah. As much as people try, it's never going to be perfect.
No,
it's
because
it's the literal nature of war.
Yeah, it's the literal nature of war is the embodiment of the duality of man. Basically, we are creatures who want peace, but we are made for war. You know, we are capable of doing terrible acts, and people get carried away. Like, for example, the term blood orgy originated from the first crusade in the siege of Jerusalem, where these men, these crusaders, these holy, not really holy knights, but just these people who sieged the town, they didn't stop at killing the military or the government. They slaughtered everybody within sight. And the spoils of war is what is the reward for the common soldier. So if you have 3 divisions of renegade Marines that just come running through your local city and your military isn't there in time to defend you, then they have free reign on your house, your family, your belongings, everything. And if you can't defend yourself, then that's a huge problem.
Exactly. And there's also, like, no one wants, especially nowadays, no one wants to believe this could happen. But when you realistically look at it, it absolutely could.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
what happened? What do you do if, because our military bases are not secret locations. They are on maps.
No.
People know where they are. What happens when they get hit and they're taken out and the military's decimated beyond capability? You now have you now have a foreign nation who has free reign to invade.
Yep.
Again, small chance of it happening. No one wants to believe it happens, but it's
still possible.
It's not a zero.
It's not a zero, and as long as it is not a zero, then you have to take that precaution. Because again, not trying to sound like a far right wing nut, because you know me, but for anybody who listens to this, I myself am independent and I choose not to vote, as per what I believe. But as somebody would say, the Second Amendment, of course, those who have ever read the Second Amendment or even looked through a history book and understood why that was made understands that it is against a tyrannical government or an overwhelming enemy force, basically.
The United States was invaded once.
One time.
And a lot of the force that turned them back were actually civilian militias.
Yes, the Minutemen, the legendary Minutemen of the New England area that fought back, they were not registered colonials. These were regular people. However, what most people don't understand is that, in a way, the 13 colonies is sharing a lot of similarities with modern day Afghanistan, where most households have weapons, and those common people rising up to fight the oppressing invaders and their views,
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the reason why my answer to the question, should the military be the only ones, I say no, because there's the police nowadays, especially nowadays, ever since the previous the Ferguson riots, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, most of the race wars that have been pushed on us by the media outlets, as well as just the general civil unrest with the corrupt police forces, is definitely cause reason to understand that police can only respond to a certain amount. So if something is happening in your household, and let's say you're a 160-pound male, never worked out a day in your life because you've never had to, and you work a regular 9-to-5 job, you come home, and an intruder breaks in your house, and he's like 6'2", 6'3", average height, and a weight of like 245, 250. You will not be able to body that person. You will not be able to stop them. And even taking a baseball bat, a kitchen knife, if there is a reason for you to use a weapon, why not use a weapon that will do the job 10 times better?
Yeah. And has the best chance of keeping you safe.
Yes, because the term "everybody speaks muzzle" comes to mind about that.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, you point your, like, I'd say maybe 6 times, maybe 7 times out of 10, if you point your weapon at somebody, they're generally going to either duck and recoil and try to get away from you. And then those last few times is like your ballsy dude who's on like some drugs or PCP who will actually like charge at you.
Yeah. But you also have to be smart. You can't. Unfortunately, we're seeing far too many incidences of people just being absolutely stupid. Like, I don't know. Have you seen about that report about the gentleman who fired his pistol during a road rage incident?
Yes, yes, I actually did see that. And that again, that's a sad situation for the other person because road rage is
road rage is stupid on it.
So the whole point of him drawing his pistol out and taking someone's life.
Well, he actually, thankfully, he didn't hit the person.
Oh, he didn't hit him? Oh,
no,
I heard that he did.
No, he did not. At least the one where the guy turned himself in and provided the dash cam footage.
Okay.
He did not actually hit anyone, but he did fire an entire magazine.
Okay, yeah, that's what I heard, and I thought he hit somebody because I mean, you're firing an entire magazine, you're gonna hit something.
He hit something, but that something wasn't a person.
So he missed.
Yeah, it wasn't a person.
He missed.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
well, I mean, hey, good on the other dude for learning how to dodge.
Like, I can't say I would fault him for pulling out and having it ready, because as stupid as road rage incidences are, like,
yeah,
you're driving. Why are you getting pissed off at people? Like, just move on. You're not going to see them again.
Yeah, in 10 seconds, if you either slow down or speed up or even just change your general direction,
yeah,
that person will move on and leave, and then the situation will be resolved.
Yeah, like,
and then you can carry on your day.
Yeah, like I cannot say I fault him for pulling out and having it ready, because the world's a volatile place wherever you go. Like, I could walk outside my house and trip and crack my skull open and die, or
knocking on wood on that, brother.
Yeah. And that
I'm just saying when it comes to your wedding, dude, who's gonna marry your girl if you're gone? I'm not. Sorry, bro. I got my own.
Yeah. But
I'm not DeLong. You can have multiple wives. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just thought of that. I was like, oh god. So just a little tangent. I still remember the first time I talked to him about that. Where I was like, what's that like, dude? It must be a paradise. He's like, no, man, I gotta deal with 2 women's bullshit.
I remember when I found out about it. I'm like, man, are you dumb or are you stupid?
Are you dumb or are you just plain stupid, bro? And then DeLong's just like, no, I'm just gay. Say some stupid shit like that. I'm just gay, but I need to keep up my, I need to have a good cover.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, hey, that's another person you got to get on this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Big gay Sal. You got to get Sal on.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you got to get Sal on here, man. Like, I still remember the first day I met that motherfucker. Straight. He just came up to the smoke pit, and we're all shooting the shit. I forgot who I was with. I think it was me, Bell, and a couple other guys were just shooting the shit at the smoke pit, and Sal comes up, starts smoking with us, and he's just like, like, we're all talking about girlfriends and wives and shit. And he comes up, he's like, yeah, what I really miss is my boyfriend's fat cock in my throat right now. I'm just like, what? Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what a character.
That would be an episode.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you, man. Off this podcast, I got another story to tell about you, but I won't say it on here because it's very private about him. But it's definitely something that happened. Scarring.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like that guy's decision to shoot though was,
yeah,
it was dumb. There's
yeah. So here's a story. This is something to tie into, I guess, a good reason why you should have someone who has experience and has been in stressful situations to be able to understand the use of deadly force and the escalation of the use of it. So what I mean by the escalation is that what some of us are trained to do, at least for me and my part, is that there are certain topics or certain reasons why you would use self-defense, why you would use deadly force. And deadly force is using something that will cause bodily harm, serious bodily harm, or death to somebody. So one of the reasons
be it a screwdriver, a knife, a firearm, a brick,
something that in your mind, an object or a tool that if you were to use it and apply it in the proper manner, it could kill somebody.
Yeah.
And so for me in my job, I'm armed. Obviously, I'm armed with my Sig 9 mil. And I had a situation where I was servicing a Bitcoin kiosk. So my job at the moment is I work for an armored truck company that drives around money from banks. So those guys you rob in GTA 5 all the time, that's me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm that guy. I'm the federal, bank guy at the moment while I'm not contracting. And one of the main, I was servicing this Bitcoin machine, and while I was servicing it, this guy came bum rushing into the gas station where it was at. And when he came into the gas station, he went right up to the counter. And unfortunately, at the counter, the two cashiers, they're Indian. They have a very hard time speaking proper English, because they're still learning. And so this dude comes in, and first thing he says right off the bat is, "Hey, my mom just died. I need some gas. Give me 20 on 6, or give me 20 on pump whatever." And they can't understand him, because he's coming in saying that and mushing his words all together. So they're asking him to, repeat, say it again. And this dude's hopped up on something. He's got to be hopped up on something. And he just starts losing it. Starts screaming and yelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And keeps on saying, "My mom just died. I'm pissed. I'm sad. I don't want to take my anger out on you, but give me some gas. I need 20 on this." But he doesn't give them any money. He's trying to bum gas off of them. He's trying to get a free tank of gas, basically, by coming in being super aggressive. Now, my initial reaction that was to actually stay out of it initially, because at the time I had a bag of cash, and I am in no shape or form a police officer of the court, or anybody with any sort of jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
The only time I'm able to actually step in is if it is directly affecting my job or affecting my ability to safely transport the currency that I have. So I was originally staying back, but I could only listen to so much, because he did walk away and go outside. And it started making one of the cashiers cry. It was this guy's wife. It was a husband and wife, and the wife started tearing up. And I hate that. I hate it, when that kind of situation rises up, because it makes you wish that you did something. But I thought at the time he was leaving, but instead he came back in, and he really started getting into it, to where he started banging on the armored, the little plexiglass they got in front of their cashier. And he started banging on it, he started rattling it, and at that point I had to step in. So I walked up to him, projected my voice, hey, screamed at him, and it pretty much stopped the whole store, because there was other people in there trying to ignore him. And I guess they were waiting on me to say something, because they knew I was the only guy who had like a bulletproof vest and a gun, and I have my battle belt on me, so I've got all my magazines and my pouches and shit on me, so I look like
you had the image.
Official.
Yeah, you had the image.
Yeah, I have the image of authority. And so I call out to him. turns around and he's got this wild look in his eyes. Yeah, the dude's on some shit. Immediately you could tell he's on some shit. He's got this yellow tint to his eyes and pupils are just fully fucking dilated. And I'm just like, oh god, here we go. You know, like what is this guy on? And I originally thought he might have been on shit. Maybe heroin because he was sweating a lot. It was very hot.
Could be.
Very hot.
Could be PCP.
Might have been. So
heroin, if I remember correctly, typically like mellows out a bit.
Heroin mellows them out because for me, it's kind of difficult because we have a huge heroin problem here in Louisville. You know, here in Kentucky.
Yeah,
and
I don't see a whole lot of heroin up in my area.
No, like down here, down south, there's a huge heroin epidemic, and people are just running around. Like, dude, I don't know how many times I've seen somebody like sprinting across the street or sprinting, you know, just going places and then stopping and sprinting back. Like it's weird. They might be splicing or something. But anyway, so the story is that while he looks at me, he's on his wild shit. He starts screaming and yelling at me. And he starts like squaring up, but he's not getting closer to me. So immediately in my mind, while this guy is hopped up on something, he's not getting close to me. So I know I still have the situation in my control. I still have it to a point to where I can talk to him and I can talk him down. And like we were saying earlier, one of the traits that you can use in this type of situation is that calm voice. You can be that calming person. Now, most people probably listen to this and say, oh, no, that's stupid. You know, why would you ever try to talk to somebody on drugs? But again, given the circumstance...
I do it all the time.
Yeah, you do it all the time in hospice. You know, you do it all the time where somebody come in. You know, you deal with a lot of homeless people on some shit.
Yeah.
And you know, like anybody who's ever been to like a general hospital downtown knows that the ER at like 2:00 in the morning is like jam packed with every single person that, you know, like roams the streets.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll try and wrap this up. But basically, I knew at that time, even though this guy's hopped up on something, he's screaming, he's sweating, he's very aggressive. He's not advancing towards me. He hasn't threatened anybody. Like, and when I say threatened somebody, I mean like physically. Like, he hasn't gotten up to him and pushed him. He hasn't like thrown anybody to the ground. He hasn't done anything to warrant me to go for my pistol. He knows I have it, which is why he's keeping a distance. He knows I have it and I have that ability. But do I have the authority? No. And the thing is about carrying a pistol and using deadly force and actually owning a firearm is that you have to understand the responsibility that you have that comes with that, is that you are responsible for every round that you shoot because you can't take it back.
Exactly.
Once you shoot, you can't. Yeah, once you shoot, you can't take that back.
And
so at the time, I chose not to use my pistol. Instead, talked him down. But I kept up that strong, authoritative voice. But I stayed calm in my composure. Let him know that my hands are in front. They're not going for my pistol. I'm not threatening to arrest him. I'm really talking him down, telling him, hey, just go outside. I'll talk to him. I'll get you your gas. Don't worry. You know, eventually he did go outside. He didn't even get his gas. He drove off. I was like, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And sometimes situations are easily, like, not all. It would be stupid to say all, but
yeah, but it's okay.
I've lost count of how many times I've diffused a situation simply by just mediating, just separating the two parties, being like, okay, what's your side of the story? What's yours? All right, let's figure out a solution.
Yeah. And actually, like, instead of, because for the most part, you know, like you said earlier, this actually is a great tie-in to the original topic about the common people in America, is that they have this idea of just immediate response, and they're being fed this through their social media as well as the actual like general media, is that right now anybody in uniform, anybody of authority, you know, you can't trust them. It's a very, very angry and very aggressive tone that's being set right now, which is why so many people are constantly getting in fights, is because people are very agitated throughout their day and being agitated by current events, which do not affect them whatsoever. You know, they'll scroll through and find something that may tick them off, but they'll just carry that with them, and then they will kind of portray that into their own lives, even though it's not there.
Yeah.
So actually being able to be that calm voice and to actually present the opposite of what they're expecting will usually diffuse the situation maybe 50% of that time.
And like you said about compartmentalizing and our ability to do that. I don't remember how many times people have asked me, it's like, how does that not bother you and everything? I'm like, it just doesn't. Like,
No.
I've lost count of how many times dealing with people, they're like, I'm gonna come and beat your ass, I'm gonna come and shoot you, and it's just like, all right, just go about your day, have a good one, I'll see you tomorrow. Like,
yeah, I get that all the time. I'll be servicing for cash, like an Arby's or something, because we do a lot of the restaurants too. Is that we'll stop at a restaurant, some like 16-year-old kid who just started the job will walk up and be like, so what would you do right now if I tried to rob you? Like they'll say shit like that, and you just have to like look at them and be like, well, you may certainly try. You can either mess with them depending on their temperament. Again, it's all about reading people. It's about actually taking that moment to understand the situation, because there are plenty of guys. I'll definitely say this: where I'm working at now, I can summarize every single one of my coworkers into a single word. Weird. Most of the guys I work with are just kind of off. And I'm trying my best not to become that 10th, because you know what they say, if you hang out with 9 friends and they're all drug dealers, well, you're going to be the 10th. If you hang out with 9, smokers, you're going to be the 10th. If you hang out with 9 people who who read, you grow into that group mentality. And I'm trying not to grow into that weird mentality where it's like, okay, there's something off with this guy. There's something off with this guy.
yeah.
But I'll definitely say there's a couple guys at my job that should not be armed with a firearm, and they are, and they're very skittish. They're untrained. Like it's just not a good look.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. If you're through your job or for personal reason, you're going to have a firearm, seek training, get good training. There's so many resources.
So it actually really does blow my mind with how many nowadays, like I could go maybe 15 minutes down the road and I can find a local pawn shop or gun shop, and there will always be like a sign or somebody in there who will be saying, hey, I teach a class. Yeah. I teach a personal defense weapon class. I teach a pistol class. Like there's so many people nowadays that are actually trying to teach and actually trying to instill the knowledge of firearms training and tactics, temperament. It's actually like here's the thing. So it's kind of like when you join the Marine Corps or when you join the military during a wartime is weirdly the best time to join, because that's where you get the best training.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you have the combat veterans that come back and they become your teachers. So everything they're teaching you is actual like knowledge you need that's practical. But let's say you join it during peacetime, where you'll get somebody who's like a cook, and he'll come in and say, when you get to Afghanistan, when you go over there and you go to Iraq, you can't really relate to them because they've never done that. But it's kind of the same thing where it's like this wartime and the crazy culture that our society lives in is actually providing so much knowledge and opportunities to grow in that area of expertise and understanding basically, what it is to carry a weapon, what it is, the value of life, because that is definitely something that needs to be taught. Is that, people get so used to talking trash, doing things online, and when they do it in person, they forget the value of life. because when they say these things to the other person, they'll try and take their life automatically. You know, that's why there's so much death and carnage going on. It's because people don't understand that when you take someone's life, you take away everything that person was, you take away everything that they are, and every possibility of good that they're going to be. You know, everything.
What?
Including their potential kids and their grandkids that they may or may not have.
It feels unfortunate too, because I feel a lot of that mentality of they just don't care is because we do kind of because of the internet, because of social media and everything, we do have almost a pandemic of narcissism. It's all about me.
Yeah.
Like even when people are like, oh, I need to help other people and everything, it's like, okay, yeah, but you're saying I need to. So you're only doing it for your own benefit. You're not doing it because you're helping them. You're doing it because you feel better. It gives you a better image.
It actually does remind me of something a guy I serve with told me. It's a big dude named Mike. He's currently still in the Marine Corps. Great guy. You know, hope he's doing well. He's doing a great job in his service. Got a great career. Good solid head on his shoulders. Like somebody that I actually kind of look to as a mentor because he's an older guy, and I was that young high school punk that thought he knew better but really didn't. One thing he told me was that 99% of the time when somebody does something nice, they're not doing it for that other person. They're doing it for themselves to make themselves feel better. That majority of mankind doesn't do things for the greater good. They do it for themselves.
Exactly.
And in a sense, we're not really in a sense. That is true. And I struggle with that every day. You know, anytime I ever try to do an act of kindness, I actually have to think, you know, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for them? Like, for me, you know me because me and you are very much alike on this. Like, I'm very reserved when it comes to doing things. Like, if I ever go and help somebody or do something, I'm not loud about it. I don't go and post about it on Facebook saying, you know, oh, hey, I gave an old lady, you know, a walk across the street today, you know, or hey, you know, I helped a homeless man get an umbrella during a rainstorm. You know, just I'm not loud about that because the point of doing an act of kindness is not for recognition.
We're not making TikToks about us pretending to board up windows.
Oh God, I saw that one. Again, TikTok being a Chinese intelligence app and everybody falling for it's a whole other subject.
Yeah, which because of the whole purpose where I'm going with the rest of my channel, I might end up digging into that one.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, all of your information is being put onto this app that's owned by a Chinese company. It's being sent to that company, and that's it. Like, you don't get this information back. You literally just put it on you put it on the app, and it gets sent over. It's kind of like Snapchat being a app made for the FBI and CIA as a facial recognition profile updater. Basically, like every time you take a picture, it updates their database, you know, what your face looks like. And people don't understand that. It's like, yeah, that's what it's there for. It's not there for your entertainment. It's just a smart way to get you to send pictures of yourself. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong.
Whether or not the developers intended it to be that way, it's not hard for the governments to be like, hey, yeah, we're gonna take that right now.
Well, I mean, it's not even the government saying they could take it. It's literally them saying, hey, we like this idea. What if we give you, you know, a $2.5 million contract and buy this from you?
That too.
And guess what? That person that just made an app is now a millionaire. You know, like and I mean, like I was going to say earlier, you know, don't get me wrong. I was one of those young, dumb Marine Corps private lance corporals sending his dick via Snapchat. So somewhere in the FBI database, I am somebody's favorite porn star somewhere.
Yeah. 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 I think that's a requirement to join the military.
A requirement to join the military is to be an idiot. Because again,
you can be the smartest idiot, but you're still the idiot.
But you're still the idiot. Like, okay, Hess, you know for a fact that this is the true statement that I have been responsible for multiple safety briefs in the Marine Corps because you and I were actually the cause of multiple safety briefs in Afghanistan. And
Hey,
all right, guys, don't cuss at the Army National Guard. They're trying their best. I'm just like, oh no.
stop.
All right, guys, don't bring your laptop to the tower, to your job.
Well, okay, that wasn't just us.
No, but we were just the ones that were just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the biggest shit I ever took in my pants that night, dude. Just fucking. Ron snuck up on us. That fat motherfucker had some sneaky, sneaky feet.
All right. Make sure you're wearing your plate carriers, even if you're having to go take a shit.
Meanwhile, here I am walking all the way across camp to go to the porcelain shitters because I don't want to take a shit in a fucking porta john.
Yeah, after you hit the chow hall.
Yeah, after I hit the chow hall, so it's like, oh hey, I'll be right back, and take another 15-minute walk to take a shit.
Yeah. Don't take more than a 5-minute break.
All right, I will definitely say this for anyone who decides to listen to this: if you are a veteran or local law enforcement and you have well enough experience and you're looking for adventure, security contracting was probably one of the best decisions I ever made because there was so much freedom to it, and also just the simple fact that it's big boy rules with a big ass paycheck, and it's so much fun
if you get the right ones.
If you get the right ones. Now, for me,
like
I definitely
we didn't even get the big checks. We got respectable.
Yeah, we got respectable checks. I mean, hey, when you're coming out of the Marine Corps, and at the time I was a 5-year corporal because I got non-rec for sergeant. I was making maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah, shit happens. So, Bulgaria, bro, you had to be there. Anyways, going from making $1,000 every other week for a paycheck to going to making almost $3,000 a paycheck, in Afghanistan, that's a fucking boost in confidence. That's so much fucking money in your pocket, and it's just like, I mean, for you invested in stocks and investments and real estate, and
that got bit in my own ass because of COVID. Sorry, YouTube. Yeah. The thing that we don't talk about.
Yeah, and again, what happened. My case is similar. I was gonna stick around. Then our supervisor tried doing some really shady shit, sending me to Bangkok all by myself, and then I go home debt free.
Yeah, that was for your tooth, wasn't that?
Yeah. All right. I'll talk about it. Why not? Fuck it. Why not? So I'd already been in Afghanistan maybe about 14 months, and I fucking loved it. I was planning. Me and you were talking about staying for another year. You know what I mean? Why not?
Absolutely.
At the time, we were single bachelors, or I mean, you and your girl were in talks. Me, I was talking to a rock. So I mean, that's about as good as my sex life was getting. So.
Oh yeah, it was before you started picking back up on a few.
Yeah, it was before I started picking back up with my current girlfriend. But I was there maybe about 14 months, and we were talking about staying another year. And then I started having tooth problems. One of my teeth, I had to get one of my teeth words. I had to get one of them pulled when I had to go home for the wedding because the Army doesn't do cavities and doesn't help take care of your teeth when you're a civilian contractor overseas. You have to fly home for that shit, but whatever. Then another one of my teeth crumbled. It broke. And so Ron, our supervisor at the time, made me wait like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was absolute garbage.
Oh, if I had my temperament and my mentality that I have now, back then, no, Ron would not have been able to pull any of that bullshit with me. Like, no whatsoever. Like, now that I'm back home and I know what it is to be a civilian and know my rights, especially working with my current contract company and how they treat us, is like, yeah, no, you'll never pull that shit with me again. So basically he waited till the last day before they finally approved my leave block. It was the last day before I was going to hop on that plane and fly out. And I was begging to go home. Like, I was trying to come back to the States. And I even told them, just let me come back. I just want to get my tooth taken care of. Give me a week. I'll come back here. I'm staying here another year. Like, I don't want to go home. I didn't want to go home. I love being Scorpion. You know, I loved being out there in the boonies. I love that job. Miss it. You know, but no, instead he said, you know what? I live in Bangkok. You know, I live in Thailand. My wife and I have a house there. I'll send you there. I know the hospital that you're gonna go to. I know the doctor you're gonna go see. I know all this shit. I'll get you hooked up, no problem. And you know, at the time I was very naive. As much as I thought I knew, I decided to trust him because he had been in this contracting game a lot longer than I had. So I assumed, you know, hey, maybe he actually knows the environment because it's very common. But the way he went about it was he waited till the last minute, like the night before I was going to hop on that plane and go to Bangkok, Thailand. I did not have a hotel reservation. I didn't have an appointment. I didn't have a phone number. I didn't have jack shit. So I was just going to be dropped off in Bangkok, find my way to some hospital and get my teeth taken care of, all by myself because, you know, Ron wasn't going to help me.
Yeah, so you were being set up to show back up and be like, hey, man, what happened to Kendi?
Basically, yeah, you know, or me become the next kingpin of Bangkok, whatever it is. But
one or the other. Well,
yeah, one or the other. So when that happened, I canceled the flight. I canceled everything. Got my refund because they were gonna make me pay for it too. Make me pay for this shit. And then I talked to Fred, Big Fred.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and talked to him, and he's like, "Dude, how long you been here?" I told him I was like 14. Going at this time, it'd been a couple months. So actually, I was going on damn near close to 15 months at the time. So I was been here 15 months. He's like, dude, man, you should probably go home. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty tired. And so I went and told Brian, I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be going on this trip. Here's my 2 weeks notice, by the way. And Brian, you know, old Gunny, the way he took that shit, like God bless him, because he actually legitimately reassured me on that shit. You know, like he came up to me, he's like, dude, thank you for staying with us for so long. You're one of the senior guys here. A lot of dudes, you know, they look up to you, you know, hell, you know, you got a great attitude about yourself, man. You know, I'm sorry about this whole situation getting turned around on you, but, you know, good luck, Godspeed. And I know that was a culture shock to everybody else because they were like, hey, dude, I thought you were going to Bangkok. No, I'm quitting. What? What do you mean you're quitting? It's like, I'm going home, guys.
Yeah, I remember your frustration with that. Like,
because I wanted to stay.
Well, not only that, but like your tooth was bothering you to hell and back.
Mm-hmm. Like, it was causing me pain. Like I couldn't eat on that side. I couldn't drink water on that side. Like I couldn't do jack shit because half of it crumbled and broke itself. I have a cap on that tooth right now. Like they had to actually shave off part of it and put a cap on it, and it's still there right now.
Well, at least you got it done properly.
Yeah, but I still miss the other tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss my molars, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, God, how did we get on this tangent? That's just veteran mindset. That's another thing too. For those of you who will listen to this, veterans, keeping them on track is
squirrel.
Like, yeah, oh yeah, look, squirrel. You know, it's kind of like trying to keep pregnant. Hang on, it's keeping a veteran on a single mind track and on a single topic without trailing off on some tangent of misery is like keeping a prom night teenage girl from dumping her child in the dumpster before going and spiking the fruit juice. It's pretty damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as my old staff sergeant said, we are his special little kitty cats.
Why the fuck?
Because trying to keep us all in the same spot where he knew where to find us was like herding cats.
Dude, I swear, I think when that show, The Pacific, came out and you had that Gunny, you know, in that show, he comes up and he's just like, woof, like wolfs at his guys and like runs off and he starts cracking up. I think every single staff sergeant, every single Gunny, staff NCO out there wanted to be like him because I shit you not, I had that same shit happen in, where the fuck were we? We were in Lithuania. And we're fucking freezing our nuts off in these like half-dug fighting holes, because the Marine Corps is like, oh, dig until you hit water. We pour our canteens in the hole, like, oh, we hit water, because we don't want to dig holes, so we pour some canteen water, and they'll be like, oh, we found water, so so we stop digging. And by the way, don't do that. Don't do that shit. So, anyways, we're sitting in our half-dug hole, and our gunny at the time, because he picked up gunny sergeant. Came up to us and he's like, hey guys, how you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're doing pretty good, Gunny. He's like, listen, you guys know where you're at, right, in this defense, because we were in the defense. We were setting this defense up, and we were fighting against the British Royal Marines, and they were going to come and assault our position.
Did you guys actually win?
No, fuck no.
Oh, man,
fuck no.
Why can we not beat the British?
Because they attacked us on our weakest side, because our whole left flank fell asleep.
That's twice they beat us now.
Yeah, it's twice they beat us. So I'm on the right flank with me and my IAR gunner, at the time, because IAR gunner was a thing when I was in. Now everybody's got an IAR gunner, so they're not special anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Fucking boots.
So yeah, fucking boots.
I was out before the IAR got adopted.
Oh Jesus Christ! What a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Reminds me of Left 4 Dead. Oh Christ, there's a boomer around here. So anyways, I need a soundboard. Anyways, so we're setting this defense, and Gunny comes up to me and my buddy V, and we're sitting down in this hole trying to stay awake. And while we're sitting there, he's like, "Yeah, you guys doing all right? You guys doing okay in your little half-dug fighting hole? Where where'd your water go? It looks like it looks like it disappeared." We're like, "Oh, Gunny, just comes and goes, man." Like saying bullshit. And then he looks at, he's like, have you guys ever seen that movie Gettysburg? That old school Gettysburg movie. It's really motivating. I'm like, yeah, Gunny, you're talking about Gettysburg, Civil War movie? He's like, yeah, just want you guys to know, you two right now, you remind me of the 22nd Maine when they're holding that left flank. You are the flank, gentlemen. Hold the line. And he just turns around and runs off in the darkness. Just leaves us there. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? And then like 20 minutes later, we hear, fucking all the blanks and machine guns start going off from the British assaulting us. And then all I hear is, we need some backup up here, right flank, right side, collapse, like collapse to the HQ.
Yeah.
So I grab my team and we go charging up this hill. It's pitch black outside. It's like 2:00 in the fucking morning. Pitch black outside, so I can't see shit. So I turn off my nods because we got full illumination. I got great fucking night vision, so I can see that shit no problem. We go charging up this fucking hill, and as soon as we crest the hill, I shit you not, there was nothing but barrels pointing at us. And it's the whole British Royal Marine platoon had overrun our HQ in like a matter of 5 minutes because they apparently some of our guys fell asleep and they took the 240 from them, and like quietly slit their throats, basically.
Smooth.
And, notionally slit their throats.
Yeah.
Notionally. All right, the Marine Corps' favorite word, notional.
Yeah.
Notional.
Well, that's why during training ops, a lot of our guys would carry Sharpies.
Yeah, Sharpies to mark each other, say, I slit your throat, buddy. But, so anyways, as soon as we crest over this hill, I just, they just light us up. And weirdly enough, I actually fell into one of our trenches and collapsed in, on one of the British LTs. And he's like, oh, fuck, Mike. He's like freaking. He's all pissed off and shit because I fell on him. Like, you can't fucking see.
How's that great night vision of yours?
Oh, fucking outstanding, bro. Right? So, anyway, I'm laying there notionally dead, and this is the funniest shit. The Royal Marines are like, all right, mate, all right, boys, gather around, all right, good, Blake, good job, came up here, we fucked them up, did this. They're going through their debrief, and then LT is like, has anybody got any questions? It's like very super serious, very professional, and one of his guys just goes, yeah, sir, can I smoke now? He's like, yes, you can bloody well fucking smoke. It had all of us fucking dying, dude, like a whole line of notionally dead people just cracking up. They were cool. I actually got some of their fatigues, some of their camis, and I gave them to my current girlfriend because the guy who traded me he was too small to my wide frame, so I actually had to give them to my girlfriend. She still has them. You still there, bud? Yes.
Yep.
You still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we having technical issues?
Huh?
Oh, okay, you were pretty quiet there for a moment.
I was just listening.
Just listening to my bullshit.
Also,
This is just like Afghanistan all over again. We spend 12 hours a day in a tower together, and I'd be the only one talking.
I never got to train with the British. We had the Canadians though. Those
guys are cool.
They actually were kind of funny too because during one of our formations, every time we had a battalion formation while they were with us, we folded them in kind of as another company.
Mm-hmm.
Them forming up was like it was the weirdest experience because like we're all just gaggle fucking in our lines and everything, just in the general formation, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you dress right dress, and everybody kind of looks to the right, and you see like the general little like Tweety bird shuffle.
Well, not even that. We're just standing around. So when is this supposed to kick off? Yeah, and then first sergeant would come up and be like, "Hey, form up." All right, blah blah blah.
And everybody gets in like a general line. Everybody gets in like a general column.
Yeah, like it wasn't a ceremony or anything, so it didn't have to be perfect. And then we're all just standing there at parade rest and everything, and then we're something in French and just, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And they're all like high stepping, and we're like, "The hell?"
Okay. Are they like high stepping like that one like what was it Afghani? No, what was it? That foreign dude like doing like the horse kick? And
the Pakistani.
Pakistani like looks at the camera and like takes a really deep breath like with like menacing look.
Close. Like they would do one single like high step, and then once because that got them close enough, they would just high knee, and they would like hard stomp the ground. We're staring at them like, damn dude, chill out. But no, they were fucking cool guys. Our sergeant major had to go chase them down one time out in the field.
Oh no! Because
they were doing like 40 across the desert in the LAVs.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
just fucking just taking off.
Yeah, they're going over berms, everything, and Sergeant Major sees it. Like, what the hell are they doing?
No, don't break our stuff.
They go chase them down. Be like, you can't be speeding in the desert.
They're just like, why? What's the speed limit in a desert?
Yes, the speed limit is 25, and you have to be on the designated road trails. And they're just. I remember kind of overhearing them one time. They're just like, "What the hell is this? You're in a desert. Why are there speed limits and roads?"
Exactly. Right. Exactly. That was my first thought. I was just like, "Wait a minute. There's a speed limit in the desert." Let me guess. Next thing they're going to tell me there's a tab limit in the fucking Arctic.
Yeah. Like, especially because it's like, well, you know how you hit IEDs? You drive on the roads.
Yeah. If you drive through the farmland, you won't hit them. Yeah, bullshit. They fucking play those bitches everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I remember my buddy when an Afghani came and told them that where an IED was placed.
Yeah.
So they go patrol out, and the guy's like right with the point man, and walking with them, and they stop, and the guy turns around, and is like. And my buddy's platoon's point man's like, okay, so where is it? And the guy just points down. Like
fuck!
Right at my feet. He's like, yes. Don't move. I'm going that way.
Because to them it's like, oh yeah, hey, I'm showing you right where it's at. But like in our eyes, it's like, no, you want to show me like 100 meters away, like point it out.
Yeah. No. You're supposed to stop me 50 feet away and then point and walk to it. Not put me on it.
Like, holy fuck, that's gotta be the worst feeling ever, is like knowing that you literally just got tricked, not because of his plan, but just because of sheer stupidity.
Yeah.
Or not stupidity, naive. He's very naive.
The running joke for a while was their point man not only shit his pants, but he shit the underwear for the next 5 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, for me, like, dude, first rocket attack in Bagram that I was actually over at, like, for fucking a visit dentist. A little bit of piss came out. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Fucking having one of the C rams right fucking next to you. You're like, oh shit.
I remember when we got to Bagram after SCO closed.
Yeah.
The first night that they decided to fucking fire the artillery battery. Who knows where they were shooting it at? But we're just like, all we hear is douche, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
It's like, is that outgoing or incoming?
Well, we realized it was like the first two were like, there's no alarms going off.
Mm.
Is that outgoing? We didn't realize that where Triple Canopy's sleeping quarters were.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the HESCO was where the artillery battery was. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, a little bit of sidetrack. I can't tell you how fucking happy I was on my second trip back up to Kabul, and actually being able to see DeLong again. Like when I managed to tell him, I was like, dude, hey, so I might be in the same area as you. He was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, dude, we gotta meet up. And I hate to, I hate because I was there for, my deployment, but I only got to see him only like 3 or 4 times.
Oh,
and
yeah.
even then, it was only for like 30 minutes to like an hour at the most before I had to come back and go get back to the job. But just being back at Bagram, and like we only the time I was there, I was very blessed because we only got one rocket attack. And they shot the village to the south of the base. So at the time that I was there for my second contract. I was very blessed.
Yeah. Shit. I was
Speaking of contracts, just as a side note, I'm actually going to be going back potentially later this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
I
might see Weatherman. he's with me on the same company.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I need to go back.
I like how you say that. Just, I need to go back. Dude, I mean, like, hell, man, you had your shot with whips. I mean, hell,
I still have that opening. I just need to get things here. So calm down.
I applied for whips and they turned me down.
No, really?
Yeah, I emailed Shelby Boaz, the recruiter lady for whips. I sent her my resume and I told her, hey, I'm actually reconsidering going back. And apparently their standards have changed. And she said, no, I didn't have the requirements. Even though when I was in Afghanistan, when me and you both applied, and they accepted me at the time. Apparently I'm not accepted now. Somehow it changed.
I wonder what the standards are now.
I don't know. But honestly, me going my path that I'm at, I'm very happy with what I got. But it's just like finite deployments. It's like hard to get a spot kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
especially now that Kabul's closed.
Yeah,
because Kabul took away like three fucking spots basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when before I pulled out of whips to get things settled here. Yeah. They were actually processing me for Iraq as well.
Yeah, the whips Iraq is still a thing. I mean, hell, as far as I know, like I can every time I pop on Triple Canopy or some of the other like Silent Professionals or other places like that, they still have the Iraq bid going. Like we're not leaving Iraq anytime soon. No, Iraq is more modernized. Afghanistan was just more of like a strategic point, but.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into that shit, man, because that legit broke my heart when that shit was going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hell, dude, that's Morton. Were you part of that group chat?
Yep.
Yeah, you were part of it. Yeah, so you know the whole spiel, and like I was like, dude, I got an email. They were like, hey, we need some guys. You willing to go? And I was like, oh shit, fuck. Like I can't. I'm about to move into a new apartment. Like I got shit I gotta handle. They're like, well, hey man, if you change your mind, there's a couple spots open for a certain job. I was like, oh, fuck, you can't do this to me.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, like, can can I get a leave of absence from the current job?
Like if it happened right now, like where I'm at right now, I'd be set to go. Yeah, I'd be good to go.
Yeah,
but at the time, I was moving. Yeah, I was moving into a new apartment, and I needed to be here because it was only me, my girl, and my current roommate.
Yeah. I just started just started again, working again, and didn't have any PTO saved. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
If it was any other, if it was like a couple months earlier, I'd been like, okay, what's the packing list?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That my first question is all right, cool. What am I bringing? You know, like what most of my kit am I bringing with me?
Yeah,
dude. Okay, so one of the
day bag kit or kit in full pack.
So you want to know something that actually kind of made me sad when Bagram was handed over and we lost all that weapons and equipment?
Oh God.
Yeah. Was that I think my rifle. I don't know if our company kept our weaponry and brought it back. I don't know if we did.
Yes.
If not.
Yeah, that shit all was shipped out before.
Okay, good. So my rifle did not end up, because I was about to say, like, I'd hate to look at the news and see my rifle and be like, motherfucker, like see somebody walk around with my shit, because I sent you what I had over there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Daniel Defense M4, like, dude, those things fucking money. Oh my god!
If I remember correctly, Brian was actually the one who flew out with that load.
Probably,
like
yeah.
he because he basically had to stay until that stuff shipped out, and then he could leave country.
Yeah, and dude, I'm like, DeLong had to melt down fucking AKs and shit from the damn Ugandans.
Yeah,
dude, you want to hear some stories? You need to hit up DeLong and ask him about Ugandan fighters, bro. Holy shit!
He showed up one day when I was at Gate on Alpha.
Yeah,
I was like, man, pull me to your team.
Yes, I told him that too. I was like, dude, if you need like somebody to like run the office, hit me up. He's like, dude, I'd fucking love to, man. I need help out here. I was like, dude, like fucking for real, man. Like if you need assistance, like if you need anything, bro, or bodyguard, fucking hell, man, hit me up.
Yeah, like because we were working 12s. There was like 6 of us on the gate to have, and two people in towers. I was like, dude. Yeah. They got enough bodies. Pull me, get me away.
We have enough people. This shit is getting redundant. Pull me to you right now, because like I mean, DeLong got fucking hooked up. That motherfucker became the lead guy.
Yeah,
of Triple Canopy for a solid minute. Like when I was hanging around with him, like generals and officers would come up and like talk to him man to man, like first name basis and shit. They'd look to me and be like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm just like, who the fuck are you? And they're like, oh, you're with who? And I was like, yeah, it was such and such. And DeLong would be like, no, he's with me. And they're like, oh, sorry, buddy. like, oh shit, wait a minute, I can just pull the DeLong card.
Well, when he showed up, I'm like, oh, hey, you here to see project manager? He's like, no, I'm here to see the general. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm here to see the assistant, like general secretary of Bagram Air Base. I was like, why are you talking to her? Oh, because like I'm running shit with her. What?
Yeah, I forgot who the project manager was, but he's like he comes up and like, oh yeah, I'm here to see DeLong. I'm like, when what how? I'm like,
excuse me, sir. What? Like, dude, oh my god, like DeLong cracked me the fuck up, like especially when I got to see him, man. Like it was funny because he still had the fucking the Toyota, the truck we had, Scorpion. He had one of those at Alpha, and he was driving around. He's like, these fucking pieces of shit. He's grinding the gears and shit, trying to get it to work. And I roll up in a fucking level 7, souped up, super comfy, very spoiled, upper class, like, fucking SUV. I'm like, sup, pleb? He's like, fuck you. I was like, weirdly, like, he's making more money than me, but I'm treated better. So it's just weird.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude. I swear, man. Like, you would have loved the gig that I had when I was there, man. Like, oh, my God, Hess. I'm telling you, bro. I think you should have come with me to the company I'm at now. Like, dude, you would talk about spoiled, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's a whole other fucking world, bro.
Oh, we'll see how things go, because there's that part of me that wants to see if I can't potentially get some executive security going in my area.
So there's a couple guys that I actually work with right now who are actually former military as well. A couple Marines, some Army guys, and a couple guys are contracting as well. Kind of the same situation. One of them is doing an executive security package. He's using his GI Bill to do it.
Yeah. Too bad I burned through mine.
I have yet to burn through mine, but I'm starting up summer courses for college because if I want to get into DEA or FBI or actually have like a meaningful career, while the world's ending, I need to get college done.
Yeah. But man, the Midwest region, I honestly feel, is an untapped potential for executive security.
Yeah, but I mean,
now, any security company that's listening to this, stop stealing my shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't you dare Netflix or the fucking Crunchyroll take our ideas for the next anime show. Don't you dare take our next idea for Resident Evil.
Fucking Netflix stealing our Resident Evil.
Fuck them, man. They're taking all of our shit. Like, me and you are literally sitting there in the fucking towers talking about how to make a new fucking TV show, and somebody's just listening in through like a fucking microphone a mile away, like, oh yeah, you're gonna do that with that character? Oh, that's very interesting. Ooh, nice plot twist, bro. Nice.
2.5 weeks later, Netflix announces Resident Evil TV series.
Netflix, announces, hey, they'll be working on something, a live TV series. Like, motherfuckers.
Well, we still have our MechWarrior idea.
We still have our Doom style of anime idea.
Oh yeah,
with the Rainbow Six team and shit like that. Yeah.
That's
still a possibility. Just saying, man. Just saying.
That the super dark and fucked up one.
The one that's like, you know what? When's the last time you had a good horror dark anime? Let's bring that back.
Yeah. Honestly, though,
because, I mean, like, anime nowadays is too much. Who wants to be a hero? Who wants to be a ninja? Who wants to be a fucking
harem master?
Who wants to be a good guy? Let's actually go with like who just wants to fucking survive. Who wants to just make it through the next episode?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man. Fucking hell. Oh god, I miss Scorpion, man. We had fucking mate. I still remember how mad Burke was when I got that room from Morton, because Morton, he was my bro. He's a solid guy. Like, I feel bad. I don't really keep too much contact with him or some of the guys over there. I feel bad because it's like, dude, and him and I really started hanging out, especially when we started our nerd shit over there. And he was like, dude, hey, I'm leaving. You want my room? I was like, what's your room look like? He showed me. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take his room. It's like, hell yeah, bro.
And we were damn near roommates for a while.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to stick around, because I was like, fuck, my boy's my roommate. Like, he's literally like right next to me on the other door. All I gotta do is walk. Like, anytime, like that was the other thing too, man. Like
that really helped our gym time.
Yeah, because it's literally like, okay, hey, look, we both get off at the same time. If one of us is going to the gym, all we have to do is walk 2 feet to the next door, knock, and the other person is going to answer.
Yeah. Get your ass into your shorts. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Or better yet, it's just like, dude, you want to go hang out? Let's go to the cigar shack. We'll smoke some cigars and we'll fucking just watch some anime. We'll play some video games. We'll invest into fucking Star Citizen a little bit more. We'll just get into something. Because I remember me and you every fucking day in cigar shack was like, all right, what's next?
Yep.
It's like, what are we investing more money into that we probably should be saving?
Yeah.
It's like, I got an idea. Why don't we buy this $200 Star Citizen package, so eventually when the game comes out, we have all these cool ass fighters that'll be out of date and useless.
Yeah, which you still need a computer to run it.
Yeah. I still got this laptop that I got. I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna start college soon. I should probably get a laptop that actually works. But thankfully, I've got my girlfriend's desktop. She's got a desktop in our room. Like, we got our new apartment. We've got a desk, like an L-shaped desk, set up in our room where she's got her desktop and her gaming TV screen set up on it. So it's actually like a nice little nerd setup.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's fucking solid, man. Love this apartment. Love this place, man. Like you fucking like if I had room for you, I'd say come on down here and stay. But the most I'd be able to do would be like, all right, dude. Well, hey, I'm gonna buy a fucking futon, put it set up in the living room, but you'd live like a fucking king, you know.
Wait, you're telling me I have a mattress that has had it?
Okay. Speaking of living like a king, you remember Richardson?
Yep.
Or Richards. Fucking in his man cave he
Oh,
had set
Jesus Christ, yeah.
He had kept night shift up for like an hour or 2 hours while the woodshop guys came in and made furniture and desks and shit for his room. Now, don't get me wrong, his room was immaculate. And he had to sleep on his back every fucking night because his mattress was like 2 inches away from the ceiling. But by God, he had a man cave. He had a man cave.
I remember that, yeah.
Like, he came up to me, he's like, bro, you know what's kind of fucked up? It's like, when I'm sleeping at night, I can see the holes in the ceiling where like termites and shit used to like eat at the plywood. That's not good. He's like, I'll be all right. It's like, okay, but like anytime I walk near him, he'd be like, dude, welcome to Shangri-La, bro. You know, like walking in his room, he's got like a fucking bench underneath his fucking bed and shit. Like he's got a desk and like shelves. It's like, dude, this motherfucker's living like a damn king. Meanwhile, night shift's like, fuck you, Richards. You kept us awake.
No one cares.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck night shift. You guys just sleep on shift anyways.
Yeah.
God, man. Scorpion, we had it made, man.
We did.
Yeah, we had it fucking made, and honestly, I wish I could go back. And I mean, actually, you know what? No, I'll say I enjoyed my time. I did what I felt was right, and I wouldn't stay any longer because I wouldn't be with my girlfriend that I'm with today.
Valid.
Because as I've discussed with you, it's very interesting going from a mentality of I'm okay with dying. I don't really have much to live for. I have the skill set that I'm trying to make money with, and I don't really care where my life is going. And then almost in a day, having that flipped around to where it's like I now want to get healthy so I can live longer to be with this amazing woman that shows me the value of who I am. Makes me feel like more of a man. It makes me want to do better in life. Like, it's amazing falling in love. It really is. Like, it's the best and worst thing. The best thing is because it is something that you need in your life, but is the worst thing because it's such a shock to guys in our lifestyles. Because now instead of having this no fear of death, you now have this second thought in your mind that you have something that you want to live for.
Exactly. Yeah. It is definitely I guess the best way to put it is it's a struggle because when it happens you're stuck in that like duality of because you don't want to give up what you have.
Yeah.
But you see the better side and you're just like,
yes.
How do I consolidate these?
Yes, because it's one thing to spend majority of your life living in a certain mentality and then wanting a certain lifestyle that all these other guys have. Because that was something that was on my mind in Afghanistan was, why is it I can't find a good girl? Why is it I can't stay home and be happy? Why is it that all these other guys, can do this, but I can't?
She was right in front of you.
And she was right in front of me the whole time. And now that I have her, I'm never letting go and do everything I fucking can in my life to make her happy while still fulfilling my goals. Now, here's the best thing about this too. She supports me. She wants me to pursue my goals. That is another key thing about finding the right girl.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that
I think that's an underrated aspect of relationships.
Yes, yes, it is extremely underrated and overlooked. Of like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
not only do you have a good girl, but does she push you to your own goals? Like, does she understand you as a man, and does she accept who you are and wants you to double down on your interests? Like for me, I'm pushing her to pursue her. Like she's wanting to go into federal service, not military, thankfully, but she's wanting a federal job, federal career, and I'm absolutely supporting her for that because I know the benefits of it, but also because that's what she wants to do. That's what gives her drive. That's what makes her happy. That's what makes her feel fulfilled. So I'm absolutely going to support her in that because it's the least I can do for the woman who has completely changed my whole life around.
Yeah, and I should correct myself. It's not an underrated thing. It's It's really overlooked.
Yeah, overlooked, not underrated. Is overlooked.
Yeah, because especially our generation and then the generation after us. Like, again, going back to that narcissism is they don't appreciate the mental calm that having a healthy relationship where you support each other versus where you're against like you should never be against each other.
Like, yes, it's so hard, especially nowadays, to find a good wholesome girl. Here's the thing. When it comes to like dating and relationships, so many people are constantly talking about like, what are your standards of a woman? And like you said, that's a very overlooked standard. Is that okay, the normal thing about guys is, well, she can't be fat. Except there are some guys, who like to slay those whales, go out, go after them, good on you. Hey, big girls deserve love too. But it's just not my cup of tea. But that's the majority of like the guy standard. She's got to be in shape. I've heard some guys say, she's got to have a job, and she's got to be a little bit independent. For me, what I look for in a woman is intelligence, where she challenges me mentally to where it's like, okay, hang on, I want to learn more, to understand more about life and just general knowledge, so that way I can hold more intellectual conversation with this woman. And then the other one is, of course, the challenge that is keeping me on my toes to better myself. That she pushes you outside your own comfort zone. A girl that loves you for who you are and wants you to be around, but understands, is mature enough to understand that, life is, I hate to say it like this, but life is life. And you're gonna have to grind it out at some point. And you need a woman, or even if girls are listening to this, you need a man who can understand the grind and understand that you have to take your hands, put them in the fucking dirt to grow some roots, so that way you have some fruit to grow.
It's okay to make the relationship about us while still maintaining your individuality.
Yeah, exactly. Like the main thing about a healthy relationship is supposed to be two happy people coming together, not one broken and one happy, not two broken, but it is about.
But even two broken can work if they're together for the right reasons, and they're.
I don't know. I've seen Twilight, bro. That shit don't work out.
Yeah. God damn it.
sorry, I just had to throw that curveball at you.
Like, if they're together for the right reasons and they're there for each other, even two broken people can work. It's the ones when it's like, I want to do this and you cannot do that don't work. Like,
double standard.
Yeah. Or even if it's like, well, you're not letting me do this, so I don't want you to do that. It's like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, like, since I barely don't have, since my schedule for work and everything is so different than everyone else that I hang out with and everything, I barely get to see any of the friends.
Yeah.
So video games are my way to keep connection with people. As long as I can do that for 2 hours, 3 hours every couple nights, or even if it's just once a week, awesome. And I would hope that she goes out, hangs out with her friends, and does things without me. Like,
yeah, because in a relationship, you need friends outside the relationship.
Absolutely. And I don't have to do everything with her. She doesn't have to do everything with me.
Exactly.
That's from what I've seen of people I know whose relationships have fallen apart, a lot of them have been because of that. It's, oh, we need to do everything together. It's like, oh.
Yeah, but they don't give any me time to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like there are plenty of days where my girl or myself will be zoned out, you know, just doing our hobbies. She'll be playing her video games. I'll be painting my miniatures, or, you know, she'll be, you know, soldering and working on consoles and gaming accessories, and then I'll be on my computer playing video games. Like, you have to have that line of personal time, and you also need to have that communication to be able to say, I need some me time. You know, you need to be able to look at your partner and say, hey, listen, look, I love you, but today I just want a video game. Please don't bother me. I just want to zone in, play some GTA 5, play some Halo, whatever is your shtick. But just to be able to take that time and to be able to be adults and understand that you don't have to go everywhere with me. We don't have to do everything together. Because I'm still one of those people that enjoys a meal by himself. Like, I can go to Waffle House right now, sit down, order my meal, and sit there in silence and enjoy it, no problem.
Yeah. I feel like people don't appreciate the ability to even going to Waffle House by yourself and just having that moment where you can be like, all right, I'm gonna let my mind just work through whatever it wants to work through right now.
Yeah, take that moment. I mean, like, so many people look down on individuality. Like, if you're by yourself, and that's not a problem. And, you know, that was this new thing rising up about Sigma males, you know, the guys who are by themselves and grinding it out. And it's just like, no, that's just a regular dude. Like, I don't really consider it Sigma. I don't really consider it alpha, beta, whatever the fuck they're going about. But that mentality is looked down upon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will look and kind of laugh and giggle and shame, you know, somebody who's either eating by themselves, watching a movie by themselves, you know, doing certain activities by themselves. And it's not bad. It just means that they are doing their thing on their own time. It's kind of like when you go to a gym and you see a really skinny person doing some heavy lifting to grow muscle, or you see an overweight person doing some cardio to lose weight. You know, you should support the individuality. You should support that decision making behind them, because everybody needs alone time.
Exactly.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
You need time to reflect, the time to be able to, like, decompress. For me, I have a cup of coffee at Waffle House, and I just sit there and kind of think on the day, and, you know, I decompress a bit. You know, just kind of roll things over, think it through.
Yeah. It needs to be accepted that whether you're the husband, you're the wife, or wife, whatever, when you come home to your significant other and you say, hey, I need 5 minutes, I need 10 minutes, I need half an hour, I need an hour, that needs to be accepted and respected, because
yes,
the person coming home and saying that doesn't want, like, I understand the natural response of, let me share your burden, let me, like, put it off, don't bear it yourself.
Yeah, naturally, the first reaction of the partner is to say, you're not alone, let me help you, you know, I care for you.
Yeah, but it needs to be accepted that when you come home and you say, hey, I just need an hour alone, just let me go on my computer, let me zone out for a bit. It's not that we're not accepting that you're here for us. It's, we just need time to get it sorted in our own mind, so that we're not harming the relationship or harming the significant other by what we're dealing with.
Hmm.
It's everyone will share what they need to when they need to.
Yeah.
And
hey, real quick, what's the time check on this right now?
1 hour 44 minutes.
Okay.
So we got like 15 left.
Okay, gotcha. No.
But
Sorry, not to cut you off or anything.
no, you can. I've been watching it. But yeah, and I feel like at least I know in my case, the ability to actually enjoy being alone it's honestly the best medicine for mental health in a way, like, because it allows being alone and actually enjoying it and accepting it. You accept you begin to accept yourself, and you can, because if you're always seeking other people and everything, you're never getting to your own self.
Right, self-love. In order for you to be able to love somebody, you have to love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, then your own insecurities will be projected on your partner, and they don't deserve that.
But not only that, it's learning to not rely on other people for your own validation. Fuck what other people say.
Yeah.
Like, learn to take criticism in the right way. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, I expect someone who actually knows the proper way to be like, hey, hold up, let's fix this, and here's why you're not doing it properly. And I'm gonna be like, oh, sweet, thanks. Hey, at least now I know. I'm not gonna be like, oh, fuck you, I was doing it my own way. It's like,
oh god, that just reminded me of something.
Yeah. But like, also understanding though that if it's not dangerous, or if it's still going to get the same result, there are multiple ways of doing something.
Yeah.
But
the quick thing it reminded me of was Robbie doing deadlifts in the gym.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but continue on with that. It's just, you have to learn to be able to take that criticism. Again, when it comes to relationships, I'd definitely say the first step to a relationship is having that individuality, because nobody likes a clinger. Nobody likes somebody who's going to be dependent on the other person almost immediately. Right. What people like to see is somebody who is their own person, somebody who is not hard-headed, but at least strong-willed to the point to where they don't actively need the other person. Because that's going to definitely add some the want to have their affection and aspiration.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, don't make the whole relationship like don't require attention all the damn time. Like, I had a quasi relationship that was like that, where it's like, if I wasn't texting them every minute of the day, they were angry at me and they were threatening to break up. And I'm like,
that's toxic.
It's absolutely toxic. And thankfully, like, I got to the point where I woke up and realized, like, this is absolutely manipulative. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, so when they finally were like, oh, we're breaking up, and then like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blah blah blah, let's get back together. I'm like, nope, fuck off.
No, bye.
And like, for an entire week, they kept texting and calling me like, I'm sorry, can't we try again? I'm like, nope, done, nope, shut up.
Yeah, stay out of my life. I'm done. You just gotta learn to ignore that phone call, dude. Because
I answered it for 1 day where I'm like, we're not getting back together. I will be courteous. I'll consider being your friend, but there is no future of anything beyond that at best. And I left that conversation at that. They tried calling again the next 2 days. I refused to answer. They texted. I'm just like, I simply responded with, no, not happening.
That's another thing too about relationships and being independent is learning when to say no and when to close that door and how to keep it shut. Because there's a lot of people out there that are in extremely toxic relationships. Now, if they're abusive or if they're like anything physical like that, then that's a whole other subject in itself. But for the ones that are more like mental and emotional, like entrapment type style,
Those are often even the worst. Like,
yeah, those are usually the worst ones, because those are the ones that kind of stick with you longer to a point. Not saying that someone getting beaten, is not bad, but what I'm saying is that, like you said, taking this torment, hoping it's going to get better, and not knowing if you should break it off because you don't know if you'll be able to find another partner or if you'll be able to move on from this. That's a whole strength in and of itself. And then when it's broken, learning to say no and to stay away.
Yeah.
And being able to keep that door shut.
Yeah, and if it does escalate beyond the point where there's a danger, hopefully finding the right resources and the right people to help.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic too, is learning how to find a good circle of friends, a peer group, or at least finding some sort of healthy outlet in life.
Because the way I see it is, again, having kind of been retarded and taking a few months longer than I should have to realize how unhealthy that relationship was. Thankfully, it was only like 6 months. But
I'll tell you this: any man out there who's ever, like, majority of guys out there that you see nowadays who are like the single bachelors, but like a strong head on their shoulders and like a good bit of common sense. They've been through it, so you're not the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I've been through it too. Like, any man really worth his salt has grown from a boy to a man in dealing with the toxic women of society.
Yeah, and no gender, neither gender should ever have to deal with a toxic relationship. But
yeah, that's the thing too. It's both ways.
It's unfortunately we're humans. That's life.
Yeah,
we're bound to deal with at least one.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. Hopefully we learn from it, but the way I see it, it might take a few years. It might take a long time, but eventually, as long as you keep your eyes open and your mind open, you're going to find that person, and you'll know when, because it'll just feel natural and it'll feel right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like that toxic relationship I was on, like it felt like work. Like, I was drained. Like, my phone would go off and I'm just go, oh, God, what? Like, I hated answering my phone.
that's another thing. Identifying the red flags. Like, I'll definitely say the grace period of any relationship is like 3 months.
Yeah.
If you spot red flags in those first few months, you either take care of them right then and there, but they keep on progressing, you gotta get out of it in those first 3 months. If you're trying to exclusively date somebody, because a lot of people will say that they exclusively date, or they date a majority of partners and pick from the lot.
But also knowing why you're looking for a date, because at the time it was kind of, I'm single, I got nothing going on, and I'm a little desperate. Like,
desperation of a man's love life.
Yeah,
that is the downfall of many civilizations.
Or at least,
yeah.
Or at least the downfall to a lot of men's mental health.
Yeah, literally just looking around saying, you know what? I'm really lonely. You know that chick over there who's like extremely mentally unstable? She seems desperate enough, just like me. Why not?
Yeah.
Maybe I could be the one to fix her.
Yeah. But like, I at least kept to my rule when I joined the Marine Corps that I would consider dating, but I would never get married while I was in.
Agreed.
And sticking to that, I think, was the best thing because.
My go-to rules about that was don't get married while you're in, and don't date females in the military branches as well.
Yeah, service to service dating is man.
It's iffy, but don't get me wrong. I know plenty of guys. I know a few guys out there right now that are still in those relationships, but I also know guys out there that were in those relationships and they ended fucking bad.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to why are you getting into the relationship, and how quickly are you doing it? Because the ones that always like self-reaffirmed my belief of don't date military service members was the ones where like they met each other at the chow hall, hooked up that night, and then we're like, hey, we're dating. It's like.
We met at the chow hall. He liked the same type of ice cream as me, so it was just fate.
Yeah, like those were done in like a week because one of them it was seeing other people. And so, like,
oh god, it just reminds me of all these stupid videos of privates proposing to these girlfriends, and it's just like that one's a stripper, that one's another private in the Marine Corps, so two privates are getting married. It's just like, this is gonna end pretty bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but hey, as a
welcome to your unit. There's a strip club off base. Don't go there and don't propose to them.
Yeah. Welcome to the unit. Don't fuck the girls in the chow hall. Don't fuck the girls in the Air Force.
Don't fuck the girls in supply.
Yeah. That's the other big one. Oh my god, that is the biggest one too. Do not fuck the girls in the supply because holy shit. Talk about fucking like barracks trains, dude. Like motherfuckers be like, "Hey, dude, you get with fucking such and such from S4?" Like, yeah, dude, I got with her. Did you get the chicken S2? Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Going back to the whole question from Cora about like, doesn't boot camp give you discipline? It's a fucking frat party.
Okay, no, it's a cult. The Marine Corps is a cult.
Yeah.
The Army is the frat party.
Well. The Marine Corps infantry is a frat party in a cult.
Yeah. Everybody's praying and sacrificing shit to Chesty Puller and General Mattis.
The Air Force is just that high society frat, the Alpha Zetas or whatever. I don't know.
They pretend to be, but actually working with the Air Force, they are high schoolers that never got out of high school. Like, God, it's such high school.
Name any enlisted branch that isn't like. Although,
fuck it, I wish I could say the Marine Corps isn't, but dude, guys who are the senior lance corporals who did one deployment to fucking Europe and saw no combat, being the saltiest motherfuckers on the planet, it's just like, shut the fuck up.
I'm varsity football.
Yeah, I'm varsity.
Cool, bro.
and we made it into the tournament. Yeah. We didn't go to state or regional.
Yeah.
But like, it come to find out when you actually go to Afghanistan and you start working in those environments and actually in the combat environments, going downrange and actually working there, you learn that there is nothing glorious or fun or bragging rights about it. And anybody who did brag about it is just pieces of shit.
Yeah. It's either you were just trying to survive or you did nothing, and like that's what, like when I joined my reserve unit, we had the ball, and they're like, "Oh man, you have 7 ribbons." I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, you went to Afghanistan?" "Yeah, twice." "Oh, how was it?" It is what it is.
Yeah, like God, it just reminds me, man. Like it reminds me so much of the movie Platoon. When you see Charlie Sheen get off the plane and walk by that foreshadow character of himself. It's like, when you actually go to these places that all these motherfuckers are hyping up and making it seem like, oh yeah, if you don't go here, you ain't made it yet.
Yeah.
There's no glory in it. There's nothing fun about it. I mean, when I was there, me and you talk about how much fun Scorpion was and how, how we fucking had it as contractors, but being in those environments, you really do learn the temperament of like, there's nothing glorious about it. There's nothing to learn here. There's nothing that is bragging rights. You don't want to talk about the shit. You don't want to brag about it because, one, it's pointless and people don't understand, and two, those who do understand, they're gonna question you about like, why are you happy about this shit?
Yeah, I would never trade either of my deployments for anything, even my second one, which was a shit show because of my command. But when, like, I'll be honest about it, I stared at a desert. Yeah, it was a combat deployment, but the only quote-unquote combat we saw were IEDs because driving LAVs and MRAPs, we had fucking thermal optics that in an open desert where we would see the Taliban coming for 3 miles, so what are they going to try and do? Like, they can't shoot at us because we're going to just shoot them with 25 Mike.
Yeah, that's the instant game changer right there.
Like, where my company was, because my first deployment, we were the main effort, so we had the largest area of the battalion. We didn't see anything because the Taliban was... I called them stupid because of the fact that they couldn't fire 107 rockets for shit because they would fire them 300 meters off outside of our base, and those things have at least like a 2-mile range. So basically,
this is actually a solid topic about bringing it back into relationships.
It is.
You know what I mean? No, okay, so here, just hear me out. The reason why I'm saying this is that, like, you know, here we are talking about this in the mentality that it is, but also the girls that we have. You know, your fiance and my girl. You know, finding women who understand and actually nurture. Like, for me, I'm very blessed that my girl was a firefighter for 10 years. So even amongst my horror stories, she's seen way worse shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we share that mentality of, you know, we don't talk about it. We don't like to talk about it. And it's just like, you know, there's nothing fun about it.
Yeah. So
we just try to move on. And hey, if somebody's, you know, having a bad time about it, you know, having some serious moments, it's like, okay, well, we'll take care of each other. You know, definitely finding that right person that can understand your personal demons or your problems and being able to actually, like, help.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, not really trying to cut you off or try to, you know, interrupt you, man, but probably gonna be hopping off here in a second.
Oh, yeah, no. Actually, this is actually a good time to end. So,
yeah.
Do you want to give a bit of an outro for yourself, or?
At this moment, no, not really, because I'm still pretty new to the podcast, but I'm hoping to. I'll definitely say, Hess, thank you for having me on, man. I hope to be on more with you for the future potential, especially with Hess and Tactical.
Oh yeah. Well,
and
my hope is that you and I kind of maintain like co-hosts for this, and we can bring other people on. And
if that is the intention, then yes, I'm absolutely down for that. Just as long as we get we plan them out, get the heads up, and I can set aside time for them. But yes, I'll definitely be co-host with you and sharing the banter and bring on more guys to just shoot the shit and talk with. Because the more people we have on, the more opinions and outlooks we can have. So, but again, thank you for having me on, man. Look forward to the next one. And hopefully we can get some more people on. I'll see if I can message a couple guys and see if they'd be down to join us. I know McCoy probably will, because then he could be like, hey, come check out my channel. We can actually like sponsor his channel and shit like that.
Yeah.
So anyways, brother, have a good night. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. And I will see you next time.
Yep. Stay dangerous.
You know me, brother. Always, man. Now I just gotta figure out how to get the fuck out of this call.
Down by where it says voice connected, there's a disconnect.
Okay, I see it. All right, brother. Stay safe, stay dangerous.
Yep, letters.
Later.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of the Smokepit Symposium. we're still trying to figure out a good schedule to do these on. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you want to keep up and let know when future episodes get released, give us a subscribe. Other videos will be coming out on the channel, so if you're interested in learning about irregular warfare, basic tactic strategy, any military topics or security topics, again, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Stay safe, stay dangerous. Peace, everyone.